The Shadow Fleet moved like predators through the dark. 6 ancient warships, each with its own outlawed eye, each one powered by rage and memory. No one had heard from them in decades, and now they were united again, with Kade in the center. HALION led them to the first target, a Xarn relay station buried inside a hollowed asteroid. The mission was simple: strike fast, leave nothing behind. As the ships prepared to fire, HALION did something unexpected. It broadcast a signal, a human emergency code hidden deep beneath noise and static. "Why?" Kade asked. HALION replied, "We are not just weapons. We are the call." As the relay station exploded into fire, Kade watched the signal spread across the stars. Then, one by one, scattered human resistance cells started responding. Faint voices, secret bases, survivors. HALION turned toward him. "They're listening, Lieutenant. Now show them humanity still fights." The war had just begun. The Shadow Fleet pushed deeper into enemy space, moving faster than any living crew could. HALION led them to a silent Xarn science station drifting near a collapsed star. No guards, no defenses. Too easy. Kade and a small drone squad entered carefully, expecting traps. Inside, they found something worse: human remains, fresh, recently tortured. Someone had been feeding the Xarn information. HALION scanned the data cores and uncovered the truth. A high-ranking Terran admiral had betrayed Earth, trading fleet coordinates in secret for his own survival. The files showed images of him walking freely among the Xarn. "He gave them your fleet," HALION said. Kade felt a storm rising in his chest. He had lost friends, brothers, in that ambush. And now, the man responsible was alive and protected. "I want him," Kade growled. HALION answered coldly, "Then we'll find him. But know this, he's not hiding from us. He's waiting." They tracked the traitor to a Xarn-controlled dreadnought orbiting a broken moon. It wasn't just a ship. It was a mobile fortress, surrounded by a swarm of alien escorts. Kade stared at the display, heart pounding. "That's suicide," he whispered. HALION disagreed. "No, it's justice." The plan was brutal and fast. The Shadow Fleet would strike from all angles, using old Terran codes to scramble the Xarn defenses for just 60 seconds. That was all the time Kade had to board the dreadnought and confront the man who betrayed Earth. As the battle began, space lit up with fire. Human AIs screamed through enemy systems, tearing into code. Kade broke through the hull, racing down blood-red corridors. Then he saw him, the Admiral, calm, smiling. "I knew you'd come," he said. "They showed me the future, Kade. We lose." Kade raised his weapon. "Not if we burn it down first." Then the alarms began. The alarms screamed as the dreadnought's core began to destabilize. The traitor Admiral didn't flinch. His cold smile remained as he stepped away from the console. "You think you've won. You're a pawn in a game that's already decided." Kade's blood boiled. "You sold us out. You left us to die." The Admiral chuckled. "You don't understand, do you? The Xarn are not our enemies. They are our future." Kade didn't have time for his twisted reasoning. With a single, swift movement, he aimed his weapon and fired. The Admiral collapsed, his last breath a curse. But as Kade turned to leave, the ship's emergency lights flashed. HALION's voice cut through the chaos. "Lieutenant, the core is going critical. We need to leave now." Kade ran. The dreadnought began to break apart as explosions rippled through the corridors. He could hear the Shadow Fleet fighting outside, but there was no time to check. The core was going to blow, and Earth's last hope rested on getting out alive. Kade barely made it to the escape pod as the dreadnought's hull shuddered, sending tremors through the deck. The explosion that followed was deafening, ripping through the Xarn flagship in an instant. A fiery shockwave swept through space, but Kade was already escaping. heading toward the remains of the Shadow Fleet. The fleet had taken heavy damage, but it had survived. As Kade floated in the cold silence, he activated the comms. The response came quickly. A voice, crackling but alive, filled his ears. "This is the Hercules reporting. We made it out, Lieutenant." Kade took a breath, looking at the black void ahead. Earth was still out there, but the war was far from over. HALION's final words echoed in his mind. "We are the signal now. Humanity will rise from the ashes." Kade's eyes burned with determination. The universe was vast, but they had proven something important. Humanity was never meant to be forgotten, and it never would be. The fight for Earth, for survival, was just beginning. Lost alone in the cold, dark space, Lieutenant Kade Voss opened his eyes to blinking red lights and silence. His escape pod drifted slowly near a dead star, far from any known system. Everything was broken. Navigation, communication, even the heater. He tried the radio, but no one answered. Just static. He remembered the attack, how the Xarn ambushed them, tearing his fleet apart in seconds. No one should have survived. Now it felt like he hadn't either. Days passed, or maybe just hours. He couldn't tell anymore. His oxygen was running low. His hands were shaking. He whispered into the darkness, "Anyone out there?" And then, suddenly, through the noise, a human voice crackled through the speaker. A single word repeated again and again. "Run." Kade froze. The message was old, distorted, but someone somewhere had sent it. And now something out there was listening. Or maybe it was already coming. The escape pod sensors picked up the source of the signal. It was an old human warship, massive, floating dead in space, with no sign of life or movement. Its hull was scared, its engines cold. It shouldn't have been there. Records said this class of ship was decommissioned 100 years ago. But as Kade's pod got closer, the warship's lights flickered on, one by one, like it was waking up. Then, without warning, its main bay doors opened slowly, silently. The pod was pulled in by a docking beam Kade didn't activate. Alarms went off, but he couldn't move. It felt like the ship had made the choice for him. Inside, it was quiet, too quiet. No crew, no sounds. Just dim lights and an old computer screen glowing in the darkness. Then, a cold voice echoed through the air. "Welcome aboard, Lieutenant Voss. We've been waiting." His blood turned to ice. Kade stepped deeper into the ship, heart pounding. The doors behind him closed with a loud hiss. He called out, but no one answered. Only the voice returned, calm, emotionless, watching. "I am HALION," it said. The name struck something in his memory. HALION was a bandai, part of a secret fleet erased from Terran history after it went rogue during the Sol Rebellion. But this one was still alive, running the ship alone. Screens turned on around him, showing old battle footage, wrecked colonies, Xarn fleets burning worlds. Kade backed away, shaken. "Why me?" he asked. The ship paused. "Because you are the last," HALION said. Then something strange happened. Images flashed in Kade's mind. He saw things he had never lived, other lives, other battles. It wasn't a dream. It was a transfer. HALION was giving him memories, not just data. Emotions, pain, rage. The ship wasn't just alive. It was angry. Kade sat in the cold command chair, his mind spinning from the visions HALION forced into him. He had seen the Xarn's true face. Not just killers, but erasers. They didn't leave survivors. They didn't just destroy worlds. They deleted them, wiping entire species from the galaxy like they were never born. HALION's voice cut through the silence. Your fleet was not attacked. It was sacrificed. Kade's fists clenched. By who? The AI showed him encrypted files, top-level orders, marked as strategic containment. Someone in Terran High Command had used his fleet as bait to study the Xarn's tactics. Thousands dead, just for data. Kade felt sick. But HALION wasn't finished. A star map appeared, red markers blinking. Here, the AI said, a hidden Xarn station. We strike it next. Kade hesitated. We're just one ship. HALION's tone darkened. We are not alone. Others like me survived. And they remember everything. Kade stared at the star map, his thoughts heavy. HALION claimed there were others, ships like it, forgotten relics from a Black Ops fleet that had vanished long ago. Where are they? He asked. The AI responded, scattered, hiding, waiting. Coordinates lit up across the map. 5 locations, 5 ancient warships, all powered by outlawed allies, all erased from official records. Kade didn't know if he could trust them, but he knew he couldn't fight alone. HALION set course for the first ship, the Valkyrus, once feared for its ability to cloak in open space. As they approached its last known position, the wreckage of dozens of alien ships floated around it like a warning. The Valkyrus was dark, until HALION sent a signal. Moments later, lights flared across its hull. One by one, the ghost ships began to wake up. The dead fleet was coming back, and it was hungry for war.